I set up my phone to record while I slept. Watching the footage the next morning was the single most horrifying moment of my life. It's been a few years since this happened, but I still can't explain it. My name is Ethan, and this is my story. So, back in 2018, I moved into this small, cheap apartment, just outside of Portland. The place wasn't much, peeling wallpaper, creaky floors, and this odd, stale smell that never really went away no matter how much I cleaned. But I didn't care. It was cheap, and I needed a fresh start. The first few nights were uneventful, just the typical sounds you'd expect from an old building. Pipes groaning, floorboards creaking, neighbors arguing through thin walls. But by the end of the week, something strange started happening. It was small at first, like things being out of place. A chair slightly pulled out when I was sure I'd tucked it in. My coffee mug missing from the counter, only to show up on the table. I figured I was just distracted or tired. I didn't think much of it, until the knocking started. It was faint, rhythmic, and seemed to come from inside the walls. Always 3 knocks. I remember thinking, rats. Maybe the pipes, but when I leaned closer, it didn't sound random. It sounded deliberate. One night, I knocked back, just to mess around, you know. To my shock, something knocked back. 3 taps, my stomach sank. I told myself it was just an echo or something stupid like that, but deep down, I knew it wasn't. Things escalated quickly after that. Late at night, I'd hear whispers. Not from outside, but inside my apartment. It was so faint I couldn't make out the words, but it was there, a soft murmuring that sent chills down my spine. I tried to convince myself it was the neighbors. Maybe the walls were thinner than I thought. But one night, while lying in bed, I heard the whispers again, this time right above me. Slowly, I looked up, and I swear on everything, I saw a shadow move across the ceiling. I turned every light on in the apartment, and stayed up all night, scrolling through forums, trying to find some logical explanation. Maybe I was hallucinating, maybe there was mold in the walls making me see things. But then I found a thread about shadow people. The stories were eerily similar to what I was experiencing. Whispers, knocking, and shadows moving just out of sight. Some said they were harmless, others, not so much. The final straw came a few nights later. I was brushing my teeth, staring at myself in the mirror, when I saw it. Behind me, in the reflection, a figure stood in the doorway. It was tall, impossibly thin, with hollow, black eyes. My heart stopped. Over the next week, I became obsessed with finding answers. I asked my landlord about the apartment's history. He got weirdly defensive, saying nothing had happened there and I should stop asking questions, but I didn't stop. I found out from a neighbor that a guy named Derek used to live there. He'd been a recluse, rarely seen, until one day, he just vanished. No one knew what happened to him. His belongings were still in the apartment when the landlord cleaned it out. One night, I was determined to face whatever was haunting me. I set up my phone to record while I slept. Watching the footage the next morning was the single most horrifying moment of my life. Around 3 a.m., the blankets on my bed started to shift like someone was pulling them. But that wasn't the worst part. A shadowy figure appeared in the corner of the room, just standing there, watching me. It didn't move. It didn't make a sound. It just stood there. I couldn't stay there anymore. I packed a bag and crashed on a friend's couch for a few days. When I finally went back to grab the rest of my stuff, the apartment felt different. It was colder, darker, like it was waiting for me. As I was leaving, I heard the knocks again. This time, they were louder, angrier. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. I could feel it watching me. I never went back to that apartment, but sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and feel like I'm not alone. I've moved 3 times since then, but the whispers, they followed me. So, what do you think? Was it a ghost, a demon, or something worse? If you've ever experienced anything like this, I want to hear about it in the comments. And if you made it this far, Let me know by commenting. The shadow never sleeps. Before you go, don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the story. It helps more than you know. Hit that subscribe button for more terrifying tales, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a single one. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there, and keep your lights on.